Oh, good. So
Just
you
don't fall.
captured that.
Don't fall out of the chair though.
I'm a big girl.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do an introduction here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Are you ready? Like
Ready
he's
when you are.
laughing.
Really.
Hey, I'm Jeff Dolniak. Welcome to Cinema Head Cheese. I'm here with a cult legend and star of Pink Flamingos, Desperate Living, and All About Evil, Miss Mink Stoll.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I love being here.
I just got a couple questions. Now, your real name is not Mink.
My real name is Mink because that's what people call me. And that's how I'm known. And that is my Screen Actors Guild name.
Yeah.
So, yes, so in that respect, it is my real name. It's not what I was born with. I was born Nancy Stoll. So it was it was an easy switch from Nancy to Mink.
Okay. And now when you did Roman Candles with John Waters, did you do any acting before Roman Candles?
I played the owl in the Brownie Fly Up to Girl Scout play. Yes, that was my first acting job.
Is there any footage of that?
No, there isn't.
Oh.
Too bad.
See,
But no, we didn't. My mother didn't even come.
Maybe someday we'll get to see Roman Candles.
It's hard to see. It's really hard to see. There was a few years ago, John had a museum show of his artwork that was touring, and it was somehow they managed to show it as part of the museum exhibit, but it's difficult to show.
Yeah, I think all I've seen is just stills of it.
Yeah.
Being a fan of Mink Stoll, John Waters, all the Dreamlanders that I am. Did you think Pink Flamingos would become the amazing cult hit that it
No,
has
and I'm glad I didn't, because if we had even remotely thought that, we would have been so self-conscious that it would never have worked. You can't plan to be a cult hit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hope to be one, but I don't think even then we were even hoping for that. We were just making a movie. And, I mean, I think John probably hoped it would be a hit. But cult, that's not, I mean, we didn't even have that word back then.
Yeah, I think it was kind of almost invented. It was like it with John Waters. He's like
John and Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
El Topo and a lot
There
of
were
those
a few,
other
yes.
movies. Now, how did you approach the role of Connie?
Well, first of all, I liked Connie. I was already a redhead, not quite that red, but I was already a redhead, and those were all my own clothes. So in many ways, Connie and I were similar. Of course, I didn't I didn't sell babies.
You weren't quite as mean.
I wasn't quite as mean as Connie, no. Although I lived in Connie's house. That was my actual home. That was John and I were roommates in that house.
That was the one that you shared with 17 other?
No.
Oh,
that
was
was
different.
years later. It was years later.
Did you do? Did he allow any improvisation?
No, there was never any improvisation. But what we would do is we would get together. We didn't even have the finished script when we started shooting, and we only shot on weekends. So on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night, we would get together, and John would give us whatever pages we were going to be shooting the next weekend. And they were handwritten because this was the days before Xerox machines. You could have things offset print or mimeographed, but we didn't have copiers. I mean, this was actually 1970, but or 71. But we would get together and we would go through the script, and John would rehearse us by reading everybody's lines exactly the way he wanted them read. He wanted them done, only he read every single person's part exactly the same way. So, our challenge was to give John what he wanted while still maintaining a certain artistic integrity.
Did you ever felt like anything that you did in like Pink Flamingos, for instance, was too much?
Well, that's the only movie I ever said no to John, and that was when he asked me to set my hair on fire. And I actually, the stupid thing is that I originally agreed to it. That was the stupid part. I should have just said no from the beginning. But he said, I had just broken up with my boyfriend, and he said, will you set your hair on fire? And I'm going, I don't care, sure. Yeah, fine, that'll be fun. And then I'm like, I don't think so. And he was really upset with me.
But the shrimping scene was okay.
That wasn't dangerous.
It was very funny, though.
Yeah, but
Very
it
funny.
wasn't, I mean, the setting my hair on fire, that was
Yeah,
dangerous.
well, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you got a good point
Yeah.
there.
No, I mean, I wasn't, as far as offending me, the
Uh-huh.
shrimping didn't offend me.
Yeah.
You know, besides David was my friend. I mean, we
Mhm.
didn't care.
Yeah, there was a lot of
I mean,
amazing
the worst part
folks.
of that was just having to dye our pubic hair to match our.
Oh yeah,
We had to do
yeah,
that.
yeah, red and yeah,
blue.
David Lockery was
Blue,
was
yeah.
dyed as well. And that was way
that
before-
was the hard part of
Uh-huh.
doing that scene.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's always it sticks in my head, and I think that scene, of course, you know, we've got the amazing scene at the end with Divine. Were you on the set for that?
I was not.
You're not. Okay.
No, but I know that it's true.
But you have seen it, yes.
More than once, yes.
Yeah.
And I've answered the question more than once. Yes, it was real. Yes.
Yeah, actually, when I rented Pink Flamingos, I was about 12 years old, probably a little too young
Little.
to rent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the tape. I left it in the VCR, and my dad kind of he saw the
Uh-oh.
last scene, and he was just telling me there was this large lady eating poo, and he didn't even know. I mean, I didn't know. You know what? For the longest time, I was like, you know, Divine was a woman. He's just a large woman, and then you know.
And Divine did his job very well.
Yeah, phenomenal. But now Female Trouble, Taffy,
Love
amazing,
Taffy.
amazing character.
I love Taffy.
I had a lot of fun. with her.
I really loved Taffy, which is I think one of the reasons why Taffy is so popular with people. I mean, I really loved Taffy. I empathized with her. Taffy was not retarded. Taffy was not a brat. Taffy was a really unhappy kid. And that's how I played her. So, and I personally was an unhappy kid. I mean, I'm not going to go into there was no particular reason, the fact that I'm the fifth of 10 kids and didn't get nearly enough attention. But, I mean, the similarity, I mean, there were no similarities really between me and Taffy, except that we were both unhappy. So I really responded and related to her.
Yeah.
And she was kind of based on me a little bit.
See, the one thing I noticed about your characters, they were just very. Obviously, a lot of the characters in the John Waters films are just these very powerful, eccentric personalities. But I don't know, Peggy, Taffy, and I'd like to talk about Peggy next.
Okay.
And of course, Connie. They're just these amazing characters. What about Peggy? What can you tell me about Peggy?
Peggy was harder for me to like. I mean, I did, but she was harder because there was just she had almost no redeeming qualities at all. She had no compassion. She wasn't nice. She was totally self-serving. So she was a little hard. I mean, she was fun to play. I mean, it's really fun to play monsters because it just puts you in such a good mood for the rest of your days.
Mhm.
You know, but but I didn't have the same affection for Peggy that I had for Taffy. Also, we never explained the leg brace.
Yeah.
I mean, ever. When we were getting ready to shoot, I had the leg brace. I actually went out one day and sort of walked around wearing it and felt like an idiot and took it off and went home. But, I thought, well, this method acting, I'm going to go out and feel what it feels like to go walking around with a leg brace on.
What was it like working on that set? I mean, just everything was like Alice in Wonderland.
Oh my God, it was cold.
But not really Wonder.
It was so cold. It was just cold. You mean the outdoor set, the
Yeah,
Morpho set?
all
It
of
was
that,
very
yeah.
cold. It was just really, really good. That's all I can think of. It was just so cold.
I could tell that when they were playing naked volleyball.
Yeah,
it must
you
have
could
been-
see a lot of breath.
Yeah, a lot of coldness there. Now, All About Evil. That's where you're here.
I had such a good time making this movie. This movie was hard to make. A lot of my scenes were filmed at night. The scenes in the library. Have you seen it?
I
You should be watching
would
it
like
at the
to
moment.
tonight. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you'll get in time. You'll get in there in time.
I'm gonna
to
get a
s-
chance.
Yeah, you'll get in
Yeah.
there in time to see what happens to me. But I am really uncomfortable for a lot of it, and it's 3:00 in the morning. We've been shooting since 5. I'm tied to a chair. My mouth is sewn shut. So I mean, it was hard, but I loved it. I adore Joshua, and he was an incredibly professional director, and all of my dealings with Joshua have been so good which is why I said yes to the script without even reading it, because
Mhm.
I knew that I was in good hands with him.
And Josh is obviously probably a big fan of yours. And
Well, Josh
so-
is Peaches.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
Josh.
right,
Josh.
Joshua
Yeah,
Grinnell,
Josh is
yeah.
Peaches Christ.
Joshua Grinnell is Peaches
But
Christ.
he was probably a big fan of yours.
Yes.
You've gotten to work with 3 drag queens. You have
Well, Divine, yes,
Divine,
and
RuPaul.
Peaches and RuPaul, and seems to me there must be others.
Is there another one? Yeah.
There must be.
Yeah, those are the 3 that I can remember.
Well, when I worked with RuPaul, he wasn't in drag.
Yeah, that's right. And,
Yeah, he was not in drag.
But I'm a cheerleader.
And when I worked with Joshua, when he was directing me, he was never in drag.
Mhm.
So, and we have no scenes together with Peaches. I have no scenes with Peaches in the movie. So I've really only ever, I mean, I've worked with plenty of other drag queens, but in film, I think only Divine.
Yeah, well, on stage you had a nice number singing. She just sang "Female Trouble" Mink stole earlier. It was quite amazing.
Thank you.
I must say.
Thank you.
Just
I'm working on a really kick-ass new version of with my band,
what's the name of the band?
my wonderful band. It's Mink Stoll and her wonderful band. Because I think anybody that's willing to play with me is wonderful. So my band is, there've been a few incarnations of my wonderful band, but I really like the setup I've got now.
Well, it's been a pleasure. A lot of our audience, I would say majority, are just huge fans of Mink Stoll. And
I can't even tell
your
you what
work.
that does for me. That
And-
really makes me happy.
Well, it's just it's because of these memorable characters, and we're
I have been very lucky in the characters that have been. I grab them.
Goonies.
I enjoy them very much.
But thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This has
got-
been very pleasant.
Mink Stoll with Cinema Head Cheese. I'm Jeff Dolniak, and
Thank you very much. Now go in there and watch me get
I
tortured.
know. Can I ask you one thing?
Yes.
What we do before